If you want to create a lot of content in a short period of time, you're going to want to use the SearchAtlas content suite. What you're going to do is you're going to start in the content planner, and from just one keyword input, the software is going to generate over 300 potential blog posts that you can schedule out in your editorial calendar. When you open up your content plan, this is what you're going to see: a huge list of automated keyword clusters that essentially the software has paired together based on their semantic and topical relevance. And to use this tool to build out a content strategy, you can essentially create a blog post or landing page targeting each one of these various clusters. To view a cluster more closely, simply click on the purple View Cluster icon, and then you will see all of the keywords that the software has grouped together in this cluster. You can select and deselect as necessary. So for example, if I know I want this article to focus more on SEO audits rather than technical SEO audit, local SEO audit, I can deselect those keywords that I don't necessarily think I'm going to include any content about to really tailor the cluster to my audience or to my unique keyword goals. Also, at the top of each of these cluster windows, you'll see the monthly search volume, the total potential organic traffic from this cluster, and then the estimated ranking potential. So if you do have a lower site authority, then you're going to want to target keywords that are keyword clusters that are rated as easy to moderate. Now, what really makes this tool so useful and allows you to create so much content in very little time are the AI content generation features. At the bottom of each keyword cluster, you'll see this purple button that says Generate Article Suggestions. And when you click it, the software will create titles and opening paragraphs of potential articles that you can create to target this cluster. So it really does the work of ideation for you in terms of creating a relevant piece of content that could potentially capture traffic for the keywords listed above. If you like what you see from the AI, you can press Create New Article, and the software will send over all of this information, your keywords, your article title, and your opening paragraph or summary here, over to the SEO Content Assistant, which I'm going to show you here in a bit. But because I want to build out a pretty robust content strategy here, I'm going to return to the content plan to browse and identify more topics for articles. So I can review another cluster, I can confirm that the keywords are relevant to my content strategy, and then generate article suggestions. And if you don't like the first one here that the AI produces, simply click on the arrows to browse the other suggestions until you find one that is the right fit for your website. I sped up this next part of the video, so you're going to see me essentially browsing through these keyword clusters to find more articles to add to my content strategy. So I open a cluster, I review the keywords, I generate an article suggestion, I choose the one I like, and I send it over to the content assistant. You can do this as many times as you'd like. For the purpose of my example, I'm going to try to find 8 to 10 different clusters here to generate content from and to add to my content calendar. Keep in mind that you might see some keyword clusters that are similar in keywords or semantic relevance. So you want to make sure that you're choosing topics and clusters that are distinct enough to be capturing a new cluster of search traffic. For example, SEO audit was our first input, but people searching for SEO audit don't have the same search intent as someone searching for a technical SEO audit or a local SEO audit. But as a content creator, I'm trying to leverage content to earn as much organic search traffic as possible. So I want to find topics that are dissimilar enough that Google sees them as distinct and ranks them for a new cluster of keywords. So all in all, this took me probably just about 5 to 10 minutes to identify 8 to 10 articles that I want to add to my SEO Content Assistant tool so I can start moving on to drafting and creating the articles. When you go to the SEO Content Assistant, you're going to see all of the articles that I just created listed here in the grid view. And when I click on one of the titles, I'm going to see the keywords in the cluster as well as the AI generated content already populated. And this gives us a little bit of a foundation to start drafting this blog post. So the next step is to fill up a little bit more content on this page, and I'm going to use the AI subtopics feature here on the right to do so. After you click Generate Outline, the software is going to provide you several blocks of text that include both an H2 and either a numbered outline or maybe several paragraphs. And these are essentially common subtopics that the current content ranking for these keywords is including in their articles. So when you find a subtopic that you think you want to include in your piece of content, simply press the purple Add to Article button, and it will transfer the text from here into the text editor, and you can add as many of these subtopics as you want to sort of put a draft together, an outline together. And we discourage you from using this content verbatim. You're going to want to revise and add in and do some editing work. But the idea is that if we're trying to generate content very, very quickly, leveraging this AI can speed up the drafting and outlining process and help us get to a complete article much faster if we were just working from a blank page. But let's say that you don't really like the subtopics you see in that AI subtopics feature. You can also prompt the AI with really whatever text that you want. So maybe you already have an outline written for this article and simply type in whatever your H2 or H1 might be, and you're simply going to press the purple Write for Me or feather icon here on the left next to any block of text, and the AI content generator will use that as its prompt. So I'm going to write a few H2s out here, and then I'm going to leverage this to generate some content underneath. When you prompt the AI this way, you're going to see the generated content first appears in these blue boxes, and then that will disappear, but that helps you see how much content the AI brings into the document. So I sped up the video here again where you're going to see me reformatting H2s and H3s, generating additional content for the various sections, and getting this to a more full draft status that I can then do my own revision work from or maybe pass off to other writers on my team. Kind of a trick if you don't like what the AI produces, simply try rephrasing the prompt or maybe adding in a noun or your target keyword back into the heading, and that sometimes helps the AI tailor the content a little bit more specifically to your topic. But obviously, you are going to want to go through and revise accordingly, add in your brand voice, make sure your products or services are promoted within the content, and then adding in the focus terms that are suggested here on the right-hand side to improve the topical depth and the content signals in your ranking potential. So from blank page to full draft, this took me probably about 10 minutes to get the article to this status, which when you think of a traditional content writer's process of researching and looking at other content and outlining and ideating, this really, really speeds up that part of the process. When you're done drafting your article, you can also add images, internal links, and publish to WordPress from the SEO Content Assistant. So simply place your cursor where you'd like to add the image, select the Add Image icon, and you will be given a selection of images, stock images based on what the software thinks that you're writing about, and you can simply click on the image that you want to add, and it will add it there in the text editor. To use the internal links feature, you're going to want to confirm that your website is listed at the top of the link suggestions menu here. If not, go ahead and copy and paste it there. And then look for text that's highlighted in purple. This is the software saying that it believes that this is relevant anchor text that can be used to link to a relevant page on your website. So I'm going to go ahead and move through here, finding the purple pieces of text, selecting the anchor text, right-clicking over the selected text, and then clicking internal link suggestions at the bottom of the menu, and then selecting whatever page that I find to be the most relevant. Then I'm going to move on to optimizing the metadata, which again, the software makes so simple. I'll click on the metadata button and the title will already be uploaded, and then I'm going to use the AI Generate to see some options for potential meta descriptions. And you can press the add button, you can copy and paste and then add it to your metadata. And then just confirm that the wording is right and that the character count is giving you that little green symbol. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of editing to make sure this fits that 150 to 160 best practice. And then I'm going to save my metadata. Then if you have the MetaSync WordPress plugin, you don't even have to copy and paste this content into the backend of your site. You can just publish it directly from the tool. So you're going to select the blue WP Synchronize button at the top and then fill out the required fields, which includes selecting the site that you want to publish to in case you have multiple properties in the tool. Whether you want to publish as a blog post or a landing page, a draft or a post, and then identify a permalink. Choose a blog category if necessary, and then click Create Post. You should get another window that confirms that the content was indeed synced, and then of course you can navigate over to your WordPress site to your posts or pages tab to confirm that the new content is there. In this case, I posted as a draft so I can review again and make sure all of my formatting and content is entered the way that I like it, and it looks like so far everything transferred over here the way that I wanted it to. So pretty much this post is ready to go. So I pretty much moved through the entire content lifecycle from research to ideation to drafting, optimizing, and publishing in the course of about 20 minutes. If I return back to the SEO Content Assistant home screen, I'm going to see my other articles listed here, and I'm essentially going to repeat the same process. So I sped up this next part of the video again, but you can see me using a combination of the AI content generator and my own prompts from my outline to generate a full draft of this blog post. And if you can imagine doing this over and over again for the various articles that you generate through the content planner, you can see that that is a lot of content that you can get up on your website and a lot of keywords that you can capture organic traffic for. So if you are deploying a pillar page and topic cluster strategy in your own SEO efforts, this is one of the best ways to really build out those topic clusters with all of the various subtopics that the content planner brings or generates as a result of that primary keyword that you might have your pillar page for. You can always return back to the content plan to identify additional articles to include in your content strategy, or maybe your topic cluster if you are building out a topic cluster. Or you can, of course, generate a new content plan based on another keyword that's related to your business or brand's primary products or service areas. And when you generate that new content plan, say you want to be focused primarily on keyword clusters that are very reachable in terms of keyword difficulty, you can organize very easily the topic clusters based on those fields. Or maybe you want the highest possible search volume, just to click and specify how you want to filter the keyword clusters here at the top of the content planner. So when it comes to creating a lot of content, it's clear that SearchAtlas makes it extremely easy to do so and to do it very, very quickly. So I hope that this video will help your team and your content team generate more articles and start ranking for more keywords. And if you have any questions, of course, leave them in the comments below, or you can always reach out to our team via our chat feature, email, etc. We're here to help you learn how to make the most of the software tools.